So what up, you freaks? So this is my post view of the Elisa Lam documentary, and to me, you just have to see the first and last episode to see the fucking. I'm not saying it's BS because I always thought if she ended up in the tank, she had to do it by herself, or it had to be like a group of people to pull that shit. Do I believe she actually? Yes, I do think she might have. What I think is that the police fucked up in so many ways that they had to cover up in some fucking weird way. In the first episode, you're like, what? Because they're like, we were like 14 detectives, not beat up cops, detectives. And they kind of realize, yeah, she never left the hotel. We have the footage. She never left it. She's in the hotel. So they went to see um, what I don't know what canines units are for. They're like, I love dogs, but they're like stupid as shit. And I love German Shepherds. The only time I've cried in my life was when someone stole mine. But I'm not saying they're stupid. I'm just saying like what are they for? Like if she was they actually prove she was in the last floor. I think it's the 14th floor, and she actually pressed the stay open door. She was Canadian. She was not Chinese. She actually knew what was on the button, right? So that kind of solves the mystery why the door was not shutting, because for some reason she actually pressed twice. I don't think, but the footage is something that the cops, they should just, not release it to the public, because the justifications they give us is like, oh yes, and oh yeah, I was talking about first episode, and they say yeah, she's in the building, so they go and sweep all the cupboards, and they get to the rooftop. They have four massive water tanks, and they're like, fuck, where do we look next? Hey, what? They just had an helicopter sweeping around the rooftop, and I'm guessing he had to look, in between the roof, in the rooftop tanks, and they should, they're quite bright, the helicopter lights, if you ever saw one, and they didn't notice there was a lid open. That's another thing. First time actor, or his name, I don't know. The Spanish janitor says, he says, oh, I went up there. I took the lid, and that's when I saw her, and then I put the lid back. This is actually what he says, and I don't recall, but I think he says also that he had to pull this ladder to climb. So if the ladder wasn't there, it means that someone had took it. Apparently, maybe when they were sweeping, instead of climbing the ladder, they just put it in place. Because either they're the most corrupt cops in the world or the most stupid ones. And there was things that I never heard of. I never heard of that guy, and I felt bad for the guy. Morbid, just because the guy dressed in like in black metal, gear, and like cosplay and shit. Like, and apparently he did a video. I'm in the Cecil Hotel, but it was 2012, and you can check the metadata like of the video. But they arrest him so much that apparently the guy tried to end his life, and I never heard of this guy like my entire life. The first time another thing is like they tried to make Elisa Lam so retarded, So, oh, she was bipolar. Yeah, she was bipolar. She wasn't taking the meds. You know, you can be bipolar and not taking the meds. It doesn't make you act crazy like that. And that was the justification. And they apparently there was. This, I think they make this on purpose. Like the forensic psychiatrist was Asian. So like what I said, like they brought in the parents just they're you can check by the parents. She is actually Chinese. You know, they're not gonna talk. The press even says, "Is the family gonna talk?" And they're like, "Nah, nah." Maybe because they don't know how to talk, and they were like so stereotypical. They kind of own a bodega, like Chinese kind of stuff. And her sister claims, "Oh yeah, they never interviewed the sister. Just like hearsay. Like they say, oh, they say that the sister said she had maniac. The episode she used to act crazy and hide under the bed. And you're telling me that someone like that goes to the parents like, oh, I'm going to LA alone, and the parents are like, okay, no, your ass not going anywhere because you're crazy. You're staying home. You talk to the walls and you hide under the bed. What do you think? If you're going with your boyfriend or friend that's okay, but going alone to LA to Skid Row, come on. And and tell me that crazy people, she graduated university with good grades like that, and no one. She would just went crazy in the Cecil Hotel. That's another thing they try to the spooky aspect. The hotel is evil. It has to be something. You know, it's not the hotel. The people are evil, not the hotel. The hotel just is concrete and stuff, man. The hotel doesn't have life. It's, it's a fucking building. And then the same way, like they arrest, you know, the the morbid. I don't recall. It was a Mexican guy, and the guy had evidence. Like I wasn't in the country, man, and and no one ever apologized. I felt bad the guy because he was not a magician, a musician, and apparently like he tried to end his life and got depressed. Still has the looks, you know, like he look okay to me, like, but they almost, you know, that what that remind me of is like the conspiracies that came after the Kendrick halftime Super Bowl show, the hidden symbolism. People went way too far. Like there was some symbolism, no doubt, but people went way too far. Some people. Same thing here. They want to portray Elisa Lam as fucking. They just didn't say, oh, she was, and because they were, oh, she was sad. She didn't have a boyfriend. She was full of love, but no one to share. They just, they almost said, oh, she was about to enter love in the spectrum. That's how crazy she was. And I'm saying this because Love in the Spectrum was suggested right next to her documentary, and I watch it. I'm just getting sidetracked here. I watch a fucking episode of Love in the Spectrum, and I'm like, what? Who came up with this idea, man? Same guy that came up with the Paralympics. Jesus. You know, some people say, oh, the autistics, they are geniuses. Are they? Are they? Have you ever met one? Some people don't know what they're talking about. And I have to. I'm not shitting on autistic people. Some there's like very beautiful autistic girls. You know, I'm just saying. You know, don't call them geniuses. Okay, okay. They might be real good at one thing, but they are fucking rude. They will say shit to your face like they have no filter. And I kind of like them. about that. They're like real. They're honest, you know. They're honest. They say what's in their mind, and that you're ugly. Like, nah, I don't like you. Nah, they're they're like the most honest people, and they're like, I'm not comparing Down syndrome with autism, but it's like they don't see gender, color, you know. They're just like, I don't like you, you're black. I don't like you, you're fat. I don't like you. And some people, if you're not autistic, can tell you you're rude. But you can say, oh, I'm in the spectrum. And they're like, I'm sorry. I have Asperger's. Okay. I don't know. Okay, so I was talking about, yeah. But I have to give props to cat people because I watch Don't Fuck with Cats, and those guys really hate people who hurt. I also, I'm we as humans are like almost so desensitized that we can watch like Saving Private Ryan, and we're like, oh shit, this first scene is awesome, you know, people are dying, people cut in half, people losing arms, and we're like, oh, this is brilliant, man. This is, and but if the canine dies, holy shit. If you read your girlfriend, she's gonna ask you so many questions that you'll be like, oh fucking god, it's a fucking movie. And I'm not gonna lie, I watched that Japanese dog movie and it hit hard, man. And I also watched like millions of people dying, like in Space Troopers and Saving Private Ryan, and I'm like, stupid, just hide behind a rock or some shit. And I was like, why didn't they open the door sideways if they're shooting in the front? Like, open the boats so they can jump to the side and not get. Not, I don't think they had the most brilliant engineers. Like, oh, or instead of, you know, why don't you put the boat backwards so the soldiers don't get hit by the bullets? I don't think they thought that through. Okay. Yeah. So this to just saying they try to portray Elisa Lam crazy as fuck. They say since the first day she arrived, she was only there for 4 days, and she was not even in the Cecil. She was in a like a Holiday Inn that they kind of, because the Cecil was so shitty, they had to put like a Holiday Inn, like 3 stores of like, but they have to share the elevator. That even the detectives called it the vertical toilet. And but that detective, that I trust that one because I don't trust the other two. I first of all because the older guy just appeared in this documentary. In the other documentary, you know the more kind of badass cop, he appeared on that one as well, and his story didn't change much. Most of the documentary is just repeating the fucking Cecil documentary. And I went to see and I saw, oh, the mastermind behind this is the same guy that did the Ted Bundy tapes. That kind of portrays Ted Bundy as this fucking mastermind. Americans, you need to stop worshiping dumbasses as fucking heroes, serial, especially all because they're fucking serial killers that kill women and children. That's another aspect they want to say. The Cecil attracts all kind of evil. Richard Ramirez came. They even say that Richard Ramirez used to walk around in these undies full of blood, and people were like, eh. And yeah, and the poor guy, he was the timing, of because I think the Morbi thing and the guy that really got me into the Elisa Lam, I think he's a plant because come on, in 2013, in the same year, apparently, I didn't know this. The Elisa Lam family made and I think it's a valid one, tried to sue the Cecil Hotel. And like I said, the cops claim, oh, about the footage, yeah, maybe, we didn't want to people know the specific time that she was in the elevator. Why? I think that would help a lot. People would say, well, I was there at the same time, so yeah, I makes no fucking sense. They don't justify why he's missing a 1 minute, and they're like, oh, it kind of she when she looks fucking retarded with the talking with the hands. Oh, it's slowed down so people can identify her better. How can you? She's not even in the picture, and she's like, and I tried to make the video myself and slow it down. Yeah, I do look retarded. I look I look great. You can try to do it yourself. If you use your hands, you're gonna look like you. Yeah, it makes no fucking. But the that's how they like want to kill all the. Because I don't think she or and second of all, like the helicopter thing flying over the tanks and not checking the leads, to me, it's like, come on, guys. And you went to the rooftop and you have nowhere else to look, just the water tanks. It's the only place left to look, and you're not going to just pick it not crossed that someone went for a skinny dip, and what? And that's the thing. She went skinny dipping. She didn't even, like. And this apparently the hole was so small they had to empty the fucking tank and make a hole in the side. Well, although she was kind of tiny, but still, it's not. It and she was like, I don't get it because like people and that couple also appeared in the Cecil documentary. I think the people I don't know if the British or they don't have British accent, but they were in LA, and apparently they also didn't know downtown LA was that bad. But they're like they were they were interviewed and saying, yeah, we brushed our teeth, we bathed in that fucking this. If I'm in the hotel and I see yellow water, I'm not drinking it. I'm not gonna. No, I'm just gonna. What the fuck is this? This is looks like piss. Why are you drinking it? Are you fucking R. Kelly? No. Uh, it's weird. Why you gonna taste brownish water like? And another thing, like, yeah, the thing that got to me that is like, yeah, they tried to sue the Cecil Hotel, and uh, and the guy that got me into this brain scratch, I think his brain scratch, he says, oh, I went to the hearing, and this is when because until this is people are building up like this is conspiracy, the manager is involved, the cops are involved, everyone is involved, right? But now they're like, oh, in 2013 in the court of law they actually say verbatim that the lead was already open, and they're like, oh, that's when I knew, it wasn't, there wasn't foul play. And if you watch the documentary and you don't think that guy probably killed her, the guy that actually asked someone to went to her grave and put a hand on her grave, the guy that says, oh, I felt like I've lost a sister or a girlfriend. The guy is a simp, uh, and he will like suspect number one to me. He even says like, "Oh, I went to the Cecil maybe 5, 10 times, and then just like maybe 10, 20 times just to see her mindset." No, you're a creep, man. That's why you went there like 20 times. Like, no, Jesus, I spent thousands of hours. Like, why? If in 2013 you guys already knew the lead was open. Another aspect that I didn't know till I saw the documentary, and I think they did this. They asked, "Oh, if the guy did such a spectacular documentary with the guy that defended himself and got the death penalty, which is basically the same if he asked a monkey to defend himself, would be the same result." And that guy pulled up like a really good documentary. Let's ask him to do this one that puts the blame on mental illness. They even put an advert in the end saying, if you're suffering from mental illness, well, and I'm telling you this because I've known real crazy people. I've seen people that personality does 180. Like, they're like, I'm talking about schizophrenia, not bipolar. The worst bipolar guy that I knew was a guy that he used to tell me, "Oh, I don't sleep for days just because I get fucking. It's like being on ecstasy. Like, yeah, apparently, like if you sleep deprived for like 3, 4 days, you get a boost like of dopamine or some shit. If you're bipolar, it's not. If that was the case, no one would ever sleep. I'm no, I like to sleep 12, 14 hours a day, and I was diagnosed also bipolar and depressed. You don't see me go to the elevator. Now, if she's running for someone, why she press the hold the door button? And then don't. I'll say this. Even if the video wasn't slow down, it's strange why is she doing that kind of dance. Looks like it's doing a square, and why she doesn't have any shoes. Hmm. Why is she in the left? It looks like she just came out of someone's room and she was like, I have to be honest, looks like she exited someone's room and she was like, maybe she got spooked and ran away. Because even the manager says, what? People don't, you don't have like film more a wonder share in 2013 in the hotel to edit. Even the cops said, yeah, they basically say, yeah, we don't know why, but before it was released, maybe, yeah, it was edited, but we have the original in the hard drive. So why in the court of law wasn't the original presented? That's and why Brain Scratch wait until 12 years later to say he knew that the lid was open. So because that was the smoking gun, she couldn't had go down the pipes and close the lid because it was impossible because she couldn't reach the top of it. And yeah, I guess that's it.